How goes the editing?
Why have you done this to us?
What do you mean?
What's your purpose?
What are you talking about? I haven't done anything.
Why do you wish us to suffer?
I started a Wikipedia game show. Score 7 points and you win. This is the Wikipedia Games. About 3 hours before we were supposed to start, players were tasked with signing up another person for the event. By a technicality, Luna gained 1 point for recruiting herself, thus completing the challenge. Next, players were asked to pick an aspect from Homestuck. Except my code broke. It didn't work for everybody. Or anybody, it seems.
You messed up the template, didn't you?
I did.
You messed up the template.
I did. We'll get to that. For now, let's introduce our players. Joining us from Azerbaijan is Golden. Next.
Howdy. Hi, I'm the Leaky Cauldron.
What are your pronouns?
She, they. Whatever you think when you hear my voice, do the opposite.
My name is Luna, and I'm a human. I enjoy drinking water and breathing air, and that's about it.
Easily the edgiest boy in this competition, it's Swaglord with the blood aspect. Next.
Hello, I am Vermont. I am a Wikimedia steward, admin and check user on MetaWiki and Simple English Wikipedia. I also run the merchandise giveaways program as one of the volunteer coordinators. I use the program.
Next. Fittingly, for his aspect, Void. Weekly wasn't actually able to hear anything because of some broken audio issue. Alright, let's go see what went wrong with the first challenge. The first 50% of people to pick their aspect will gain 1 starting point. Begin.
I've subbed it in the template with time as my aspect, and the aspect field is still blank, as is suggestion, description, everything.
Okay, the first challenge is for somebody to fix it so we can do the preliminary challenge.
If you go to where it's subjects in parameter 1, like, there's only one closing angle bracket for no include.
That might be it.
That's definitely it.
Well, the first person to fix that. I ended up giving multiple people points for that challenge because it took several edits to fix. The standings as of the first 2 rounds are as so. Propose a rule or a challenge. Basically, Wikipedia has rules written by the community. Therefore, I gave the players their own chance to write the rules for the game show. Alternatively, they could propose their own challenge. Challenges only had to survive a veto from me, while any new rules needed a majority vote from the players as well. The only rule that made it through this process was one letting players pick a new host. Since they couldn't figure out who else would do it though, my job was pretty safe.
Candidates for new hosts?
Y'all didn't think ahead.
We're not really competent revolutionaries here.
Okay, so we're gonna do Vermont's challenge. For reasons beyond explanation, Vermont wanted players to write an unblock request for someone blaming their poor edits on squirrels, with players voting on the most plausible. Here are the results.
Let's read them out loud.
Hello. MJL blocked me 6 months ago for my heinous edit. I've come to say that I was not the one who made these edits. It was actually a squirrel. It was a normal day of Wikipedia editing until a squirrel broke in through my window while I was away and locked the door. During my absence, the squirrel made several abhorrent edits, including blanking out all of squirrel taxonomy with the edit summary, "Squirrels don't do taxes." I only found out an hour later when the squirrel unlocked my door and returned. I believe I am deserving of a second chance. I am a new editor who has decided to edit Wikipedia a mere 15,000 times. I've always had a passion for wildlife as long as I have lived, but I have been passionate about squirrels the most. But you see, there's an issue the way certain squirrels are treated on Wikipedia. The red squirrel isn't actually red, it's brown. I saw one for the first time yesterday and I was amazed by its wonderful coat of fur. So I decided to make a change to the article title by moving the title from red squirrel to brown squirrel. Another editor, Vermont, who isn't even an admin, decided to move the page back. I was surprised, so I left them a polite message on their talk page, but I came back and found that I have been blocked from editing by the Wikimedia Foundation. I understand now that my inspiration from squirrels is not acceptable as a source on Wikipedia. I will never engage in harassment of stewards or other individuals who have bad opinions about my favorite squirrel. Instead, I will use a reliable source on other topics while happily accepting a topic ban on red squirrels. This is from Luna Eats Tuna. My little brother, who is also a squirrel. Yeah, I have to skip some, because I can't animate this whole thing. To whom it may concern, I've been a trusted member of the community for over 10 years. I've created over 50 FAs, 100 GAs, and countless DYKs. I've been awarded the Triple Crown and other prestigious awards. Most recently, Jimbo Wales awarded me the Order of the Day award for my contributions. In my tenure, I've never made a bad faith or unconstructive edit. My block log is also squeaky clean. As such, my recent block may be surprising to the Wikipedia community, but there is a simple reason why my last few edits were below Wikipedia standards. For those who don't know, I work as a zookeeper. Recently, I was bitten by a diseased squirrel named Sandy. The squirrel infected me with Kuru, which affected my nervous system. I have no control over my mind or body in the last 48 hours. However, with proper medication, I returned to my normal state and I wish to be unblocked. 6 months ago, a squirrel entered my home when I was out. After I had returned, the house was empty of furniture and all the food and valuables were taken. My apes were gone. I learned that the squirrel was employed by a group of people whose sole interest was to collect fungible tokens. They realized that non-fungible tokens were useless, so they employed a group of squirrel contractors later revealed to me as previously having been employed by the dolphin who lives inside the Wikipedia globe to steal all my fungible tokens. My computer was one such fungible token. My password, however, was non-fungible, so they did not want it. But they managed to hack into my brain anyways, get my password, and use it to edit Wikipedia. A few seconds later, I received an email that I had been blocked. It was not me. I am sorry. I should have never left the trail of acorns leading into my house. The squirrels would never have found me. It will not happen again. Please unblock my account. Sad face. This is from Leaky. In a late winter's night in Davidsboro, Georgia, and my players voted in the first round, which eliminated 3 people, Golden, Luna, and Weekly. In the second round, Golden switched his vote from Miguel to Vermont, eliminating the former. This left only Vermont and Swaglord. Mhawk voted for Swaglord, while Weekly flipped a coin and switched his vote to Vermont. In the end, Vermont won their own challenge, with only a bit of bribery involved. Here's when I will point out what everyone's actually playing for. All of my Patreon money. $8 whole. But the part I enjoy the most is how petty that is for me knowing who my Patreon supporters are. After this revelation and the challenge, Mhawk had to leave and donated his point to Vermont. Being the enigma that they are though, Vermont later just gave one of their points to Swaglord. For literally no reason. I don't know what's going on there. With Miguel knocking himself out of contention, Vermont still barely in first place, and Weekly continuing to have audio trouble, that's where I'm gonna end today's video. Yup, we're doing this. If you want to know how this 2-hour-long game show ends, then get this video 25 likes. Otherwise, no one is going to get to see the second half. I'm holding it hostage. If you want to negotiate terms, then join me on my Discord server or in the comments below. Until then, see you next week, folks. I don't know why I just shrugged, because no one can see me shrug, but I just shrugged, so. Yeah, I don't know how 7's even possible, because there's literally only 6 of you. Oh no, 7 because Weekly. I forgot Weekly counts. Okay, that rule passes.
So I said most believable wins. Now we've crowned as the Script Whisperer. So like, I guess post a link to everyone who submitted it, and we can read it, and we can do ranked choice voting.
Doesn't that sound just a bit complicated?
I don't think we've had any problems with complicated maneuvers so far.
Really?
Yeah, that was great.
I'm a bit sick.